but he never makes it. Investigators first describing the crime as random, possibly a robbery. But now the question, was it Islamic extremism? You're about to hear from the teen's grief-stricken parents, only right here on the record. But first, the investigation into the murder of Brendan Tevlin.
Brendan Tevlin was hanging out with some friends, texted his mother saying he was on his way home, never made it.
Brendan Tevlin was shot to death in his car.
A suspect accused of murdering a 19-year-old says he did it as retribution for innocent lives lost in Iraq, Syria, and the rest of the Islamic world.
But court documents showed that the killer, Ali Muhammad Brown, was motivated by holy jihad.
And now, Allison and Michael Tevlin speaking only to On the Record about that terrible night their son was viciously murdered.
I was up. I wasn't panicked. He was, you know, just a kid who would always do the right thing. And he would have told me if he was going somewhere. So, and I wasn't panicking because I thought maybe on his way home he went to his buddy Anthony's, who lives catty-cornered to us, and sometimes he stops there and they hang on his deck. But then, you know, it got later and later, and then I never thought, not in this area, that something so horrific could have happened. I really was hoping that maybe he went to his friend Anthony's and, you know, time got away from him, or fell asleep, which would have been the first time ever. Like, he's just not that irresponsible, but still waited.
Were you up or waiting as well?
I was actually away. I was in Maryland with my younger son Brian at a lacrosse showcase, and he was actually in the dormitory, and you know, I got the phone call around 4:30, 5 o'clock, and
from
Allison.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the West Orange Police Department and the prosecutor's department came up and visited her, which is, you know, I never imagined how she felt. You know, I wasn't there, and it was tough.
So that's the first. So someone came to your door?
Doorbell rang, and my daughter had been up, and then my younger 13-year-old. Doorbell rings at 4 o'clock in the morning. Everybody hears it, and then I just, you know, I could actually see the heads through the wooden door, the glass, as I was coming down the steps, and I just thought, still would never have thought what they told me. Thought maybe, you know, maybe
an accident.
Something happened. Yeah, an accident. Maybe he's in the hospital. Maybe something. And yeah, it's just.
What did they tell you the cold, horrible, ugly truth, or did they try to at least be gentle about it?
They were very nice. I knew one West Orange police officer, known him for years, and one of the other guys has known Michael for years, and I just could see on his face when I think I grabbed him and said, "Oh, no, not Brendan," and he said, "Yeah, it's Brendan, and he was murdered." I was thinking, murdered in West Orange, New Jersey? I just, and then it kind of turns into a big blur because they were on their mission to find out what was going on. And
well, that's no news. A parent should never have to give another parent, is it?
Yeah, I was sound asleep. I thought it was a bad dream. I had to wake up, put my head under water, and call her back. I said, "I got to call you back." What do you mean? You know, Brendan's dead. What do you? You know, and you know, as a father, and you know what she was going through, I just, you know, I wasn't there. So, you know, it was tough.
And that trip home.
Yeah, 3-hour trip home was not easy, but you know, my driving home was just to make sure we got home safe. Me and my son Brian, and you know, I didn't tell Brian. I just, you know, I had to take him out of the dormitory at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning, and he was like, "Dad, what's going on?" I said, "Something happened to Brendan." Dad, what happened? What happened? You know, it was an accident. You know, I couldn't tell him what actually happened because it would have been a really tough ride home. And he wasn't happy I didn't tell him, but I'm thankful I didn't, because you know, he ended up going to sleep, and it was time for me to reflect and think about what happened.
And our conversation with Brendan Tevlin's parents continues coming up.